You're doing everything right. You take your vitamins, you care about your health, and you want to maintain your energy and vitality. But what if I told you that some of those very supplements sitting in your medicine cabinet could actually be working against you? If you're a man over 50, this episode could be absolutely life-changing because today I'm revealing which common vitamins might be silently draining your energy, weakening your performance, and throwing your hormones completely out of balance. But more importantly, I'm going to show you exactly what to do instead to naturally support strong circulation, lasting energy, and genuine vitality. Stay tuned. Hello, and welcome to the Vitality 50 Plus podcast. I'm Dr. Jennifer, and I'm so glad you're here today because we're tackling something that, frankly, nobody wants to talk about, but everybody needs to hear. I've been practicing medicine for over 2 decades now, and one of the biggest misconceptions I see is that more is always better when it comes to vitamins and supplements. Men especially fall into this trap. They think, well, if a little vitamin D is good for me, then taking mega doses is going to be even better. And that's just not how our bodies work. Let me explain what's really happening. First, let me talk about vitamin D, because this one absolutely fascinates me. It's called the sunshine vitamin, and yes, we know that vitamin D deficiency is connected to low energy, poor circulation, and even sexual dysfunction. That part is true. But here's what happens when guys start taking massive doses, and I mean doses over 10,000 IU daily, which I see all the time. Your body starts to accumulate excess calcium in your bloodstream, and what the medical community calls hypercalcemia kicks in. This doesn't sound like a big deal until you realize it's messing with your testosterone production and your whole hormonal system is getting thrown off balance. The safe recommendation from major health organizations is about 4,000 IUs daily, which is honestly way below what most of those supplement bottles claim you should take. And that's by design, because the companies selling these products want you to believe you need more. You don't. Now, zinc, that's right. Let me talk about zinc for a second. Your body absolutely needs zinc to produce testosterone. That's not debatable. But, and this is important, when you exceed 40 milligrams daily, you run into serious problems. I'm talking severe stomach issues, copper absorption problems, and, ironically, your immune system actually gets weaker. I've had patients come to me taking 2,000 to 6,000 milligrams of zinc because some male enhancement formula promised them the world. That's not enhancement. That's toxicity. And it leaves you feeling sick, cramped up, and definitely not in the mood for intimacy. Then there's niacin, which is vitamin B3. Look, normal amounts might help with blood flow, but when supplement companies start pushing therapeutic doses of 2,000 to 6,000 milligrams daily, you're looking at real trouble. We're talking severe flushing that makes you look uncomfortable, potential liver damage, and blood sugar problems. The actual recommended daily amount for men? Only 16 milligrams. So these mega doses aren't just wasteful, they're downright dangerous. Now, let me be honest with you about something that really concerns me. Some of these male enhancement supplements are even more problematic than the vitamins themselves. Take Yohimbe, for example. The Mayo Clinic, and I don't use that lightly, has directly linked it to heart attacks, seizures, and dangerous blood pressure spikes. That's not a side effect list, that's a warning about potentially life-threatening consequences. And DHE, which sounds harmless because your body makes it naturally, becomes something entirely different when you're supplementing without proper medical supervision. You're risking major hormonal disruption and potentially increasing your cancer risk. Let me say that again because it matters. Increasing your cancer risk. Now, here's where it gets really complicated, and this is what I want you to pay close attention to. If you're like most men over 50, you're probably on several medications. Maybe you're taking statins for cholesterol. Maybe you're on blood pressure medications, possibly both. And here's what nobody tells you. These medications already affect your testosterone levels and your sexual function all by themselves. Statins can lower testosterone. Beta blockers and diuretics reduce blood flow to, well, everywhere you need it. And certain diuretics actually deplete your zinc levels. So you might think you need a zinc supplement, but if you're not careful with the dosage, you end up worse off than when you started. And that's right. If you're taking calcium supplements along with blood pressure medications, you're risking some serious mineral imbalances that can actually affect your heart rhythm. I mean, that's not something to take lightly. If you're on blood thinners like warfarin, high-dose vitamin E, or those omega-3 supplements everyone's pushing, can significantly increase your bleeding risk. We're not talking about a little bruising here. We're talking about potentially dangerous bleeding that could put you in real trouble. But wait, it gets even more complicated. Most older men aren't just taking one medication, right? You might be on a proton pump inhibitor for acid reflux, which reduces how well your body absorbs B12. Maybe you're taking an ACE inhibitor for blood pressure. And if you add potassium supplements to that mix, you could develop dangerously high potassium levels. Each one of these interactions is like a potential problem stacking on top of another problem. Now, let me share what leading medical experts actually say about all this. Dr. Michael O'Reary, who's a urologist at Harvard Medical School, doesn't mince words. He calls most supplements marketed for sexual function a phenomenal waste of money. That's not my opinion. That's coming from a urologist who spent his entire career helping men with these exact issues. When a guy like that speaks, I listen. And at Scripps Health, Dr. Luigi Simone has thoroughly reviewed all those claims about increased libido and sexual endurance that supplement companies love to make. His conclusion? Those claims have not been proven to work. Not maybe, not mixed results. They haven't been proven. Here's what the actual research shows, and this might surprise you. When researchers did a comprehensive review of vitamins and male sexual function, they found that vitamins A, C, and E showed absolutely no significant effect. The only vitamins that showed limited benefits were vitamin D and certain B vitamins. And here's the catch, absolutely the most important part. Those benefits only showed up in men who actually had a deficiency in the first place. If you didn't need it, the vitamin didn't help. Dr. Richard Natal from Charlotte Men's Health says it perfectly when he states that any supplementation regimen should be based on blood work showing an actual deficiency. In other words, if you don't need it, you're not just wasting money, you're potentially putting your health at risk. And then there's the FDA situation, which honestly should concern all of us. Unlike prescription medications that go through years of rigorous testing, supplements don't need pre-market approval. Companies can basically put whatever they want in a bottle, slap a label on it, and start selling it. This regulatory gap has led to some truly scary discoveries. More than 1/3 of sexual enhancement supplements contain hidden prescription drugs like sildenafil, which is the active ingredient in Viagra, or tadalafil from Cialis. But here's the problem, and let me be really clear about this. They don't tell you this on the label. You have absolutely no idea what you're actually taking or how it might interact with your other medications. Now, I don't want you thinking that all supplements are bad or that you should never take vitamins. That's not what I'm saying. The key is being smart about it and doing things the right way. Let me give you a straightforward plan that actually works. First step, and I really can't stress this enough, get proper testing done. I'm talking about actual blood work that shows whether you have real deficiencies. You can't figure this out by how you feel or by taking some online quiz. You need real lab results. Vitamin D levels, B12 status, zinc levels, the whole picture. That's the only valid reason to start supplementing. Period. When you do need supplements, the type and form you choose actually matters more than most people realize. Vitamin D3 works better in your body than vitamin D2. If you need folate, methylfolate is absorbed much better than regular folic acid. For B12, methylcobalamin might be superior to the standard form in most cheap multivitamins. And here's something people get completely wrong with dosing. Your body can only absorb about 500 milligrams of calcium at one time. So those massive 1 milligram calcium pills are mostly just expensive urine, frankly. Fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K need to be taken with some dietary fat to be absorbed properly. You can't just pop them on an empty stomach and expect them to work. Water-soluble vitamins like B vitamins and vitamin C are more forgiving. You can take them anytime, but the most important thing is staying within the recommended daily allowances. Those limits exist for a reason, and exceeding them doesn't give you extra benefits. It just increases your risk of toxicity. Here's something that might surprise you. Natural food sources are often the safest and most effective way to get these nutrients. Fatty fish like salmon and mackerel give you vitamin D without any risk of overdose. Dark leafy greens provide folate in its most bioavailable form. Nuts and seeds deliver magnesium and zinc in balanced amounts that your body can actually use. A Mediterranean-style diet naturally incorporates many of the nutrients that support energy, circulation, and overall vitality, and you don't need to worry about interactions or toxicity. If you do decide you need supplements, look for third-party testing. This means an independent company has verified what's actually in the bottle. Look for certifications from USP, NSF, or Consumer Lab. These organizations actually test products to make sure they contain what the label says they contain. And please avoid any products that make extraordinary claims or use proprietary blends that hide the actual dosages. If they won't tell you exactly how much of each ingredient is in there, that's a red flag. But let me tell you what really works. Most of the time, lifestyle changes will give you better results than any supplement ever could. Regular exercise improves blood flow more reliably and safely than any pill you can buy. Losing excess weight enhances testosterone production naturally, no supplements required. Quitting smoking and cutting back on alcohol protect your blood vessels and improve your circulation and energy. Getting quality sleep supports hormone production better than any hormone supplement. These aren't just feel-good suggestions. These are evidence-based interventions that actually work. They don't cost you anything beyond the effort, they don't have toxic side effects, and they improve your overall health while specifically supporting your energy and vitality. That's a win all around. Now, I need to be crystal clear about something here. This educational information cannot and should not replace professional medical advice. Every man's health situation is unique and complex, requiring individualized evaluation from a qualified healthcare provider. Never start, stop, or change supplements or medications based solely on what you learn here without consulting your doctor first. They know your complete medical history, your current medications, and your individual risk factors in ways that no podcast or article ever could. If you experience any concerning symptoms or side effects, don't wait around hoping they'll go away. Seek medical attention. Your health is too important to gamble with. Here's what I really want you to understand. When it comes to vitamins and supplements after 50, more isn't always better. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is knowing what not to take and making sure that anything you do take is based on actual medical need rather than marketing promises. Your body will thank you for it. Your energy will improve. Your relationships will benefit. And your long-term health will be so much better when you're making informed decisions based on real science rather than supplement company marketing. You've got this. Take care of yourself out there.